We're up to 4 Goldman insiders?
If you include Rajat Gupta, who's facing an insider trial coming up in about a month, now you have 4 Goldman insiders who are under investigation by the U.S. government. It's something that came out in court yesterday. Prosecutors disclosed this to Gupta's defense counsel.
Now, why is this potentially a big deal that another person might be involved in this insider trading probe?
Well, the reason it was disclosed to defense counsel is that it could be exculpatory evidence because it creates confusion over exactly which Goldman person was passing on information to Raj Rajaratnam, who was convicted last year of insider trading.
But we don't know who this latest suspect is, and are the prosecutors simply choosing at this point to not disclose the identity of this 4th insider at Goldman?
That's right. They actually handed a document to the judge in court, and they asked that the judge not talk about the name of the person or the 2 companies. There were 2 public companies that he had information on and was passing to Gupta. Now, we do know that it's being investigated out of the Central District of California in Los Angeles, and we do know that it's a man because that sort of slipped out during the hearings yesterday.
There was a 4th man, an elusive 4th man. Now, the 2 other folks who have been identified before, they're both tech. They were or still are tech specialists at Goldman. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. They are that their names have actually come out. We've actually reported their names. So, and we know that it's not one of those 2. So it's a 3rd other than Gupta.
And have the 2 that you've identified, other than Gupta, have they actually been formally charged as of yet, or is this still an investigation?
It's still an investigation. So we don't want to convict anyone in the press here, but it is.
Sure, we can.
You guys can.
We can do whatever. We can do whatever we want. We buy our ink by the barrel. What's Goldman's response to all this?
They declined to comment for the story as they have in the past.
And what's the timetable? At least the court schedule for now. When's the next meeting here?
Well, actually, the next thing could be Monday. This is another thing that came out yesterday. Prosecutors said, Reed Brodsky, who's the lead prosecutor in the Gupta case, said that he has new evidence that he wants to bring in front of the court on Monday. Judge Rakoff, who's presiding over the case, said it's going to be tough going to actually get this evidence in because it's getting closer and closer to trial. He actually allowed one new piece of evidence involving some P&G, another alleged insider trade involving Gupta. He actually, Rakoff allowed that evidence in yesterday, but he kind of scolded the prosecutors for being slow to offer it up.
No, Gupta has a connection to Procter & Gamble as well, yes?
That's right. He was also on the board of Procter & Gamble, So
his case can proceed on its own track while this investigation into other potential violators of insider trading laws will proceed at that level.
That's right. I mean, we know very little about these other investigations and where they're headed. The reason it comes up again in the Gupta trial is that it could be exculpatory evidence for Gupta. In some of the wires where you hear Raj Rajaratnam talking about his insiders, he says, I've got someone at Goldman who's passing on this information and doesn't name the person. So who is that someone? Now, prosecutors will offer up other evidence, timetables and things like that, which they've mentioned in court to try and link that to Gupta. But, it could be a defense strategy to try and say, look, there's some confusion here over, who exactly was passing on this information.